Biden's Inflation Reduction Act enriches Commie China. Why does that not surprise me? I've been talking about it for years now. How China, Xi Jinping specifically, and the CCP owns Joe Biden because of the money laundering, all the illegal stuff they were doing. They literally have Joe Biden's bank accounts where thousands upon thousands of dollars was put in there by the Chinese government, and he has no explanation for any of this money that ended up in his account. So this guy is bought and paid for, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which was a terrible act that they put into law, end up raising inflation instead of reducing it. It did the exact opposite. And that's par for the course for normally when government names these things, it normally does the opposite of what it says it's supposed to do. And now we find out that this act actually helps China. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. All right, so let's talk about this news here. Now, this comes from PJ's Media, Catherine Salgado, and she reports that it will be unsurprising to most of us that the widely misnamed Inflation Reduction Act from the Biden administration not only did not help American citizens, but actually helped America's existential enemy, Communist China. There's evidence that Joe Biden and his family have been receiving laundered Chinese money for years, and both Biden himself and his administration officials have consistently pandered to the genocidal and American-hating Chinese Communist Party. It is not surprising, therefore, but it is deeply disturbing that the Democrats' ridiculously mislabeled Inflation Reduction Act actively harmed Americans, even while benefiting our enemies. And y'all know what I always say when it comes to stuff like this. It is by design. This is on purpose. This is what this act was meant to do, was actually to make Americans worse off and to enrich China. And Breitbart News in May in a May 18th piece sponsored by Americans for Limited Government, quoted and provided evidence to back up a Donald Trump ad. Trump claimed, quote, Biden's pro-China economic program put America last, and it's killing our country. And Breitbart and Americans for Limited Government found Trump was indeed right about his Democrat presidential opponent's economic policies being a gift to the CCP. Before reading from Breitbart below, keep in mind that everything in this so-called private sector in China is subject to civil-military fusion, meaning it must be accessible to the CCP and its military. That's why TikTok is so dangerous, because it's actually the government owns the take the majority stake in these companies. The military has access to these companies. But one of the worst instances of this is Biden's signature domestic achievement, the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA. Not only has this done nothing to stop inflation, it is also proving to be a giveaway to the Chinese Communist Party. While China is building military bases on our doorstep, Joe Biden, instead of proving he's merely asleep at the wheel, has invited Xi Jinping inside and asked him to drive. China is co-opting American companies and sucking billions in green scam tax credit. Moreover, as we hadn't learned our lesson during COVID about the dangers of outsourcing medical production, proposed expansions to the IRA will slash the U.S. biopharma industry. Buried in the IRA is command and control language that Joe Biden could only have learned from the Chinese Communist Party. The IRA language allows the government to dictate price controls on some prescription medications for seniors under Medicare. And it won't just kill access to new cures, it will kill American jobs. various provisions from the insidious Biden administration for prescription drugs. I'm sorry, various provisions from the insidious Biden administration for prescription drugs are projected to eliminate around 136,000 to 216,000 jobs in the big pharma industry. Killing jobs. How many jobs has this man killed? Not only that, but between 678,000 to 1 million U.S. jobs will end up being killed through resulting indirect layoffs. Interestingly, Breitbart noted also that Biden's IRA is, quote, slashing Medicare for U.S. seniors drug plan, something that will come into force in 2025 so that either Trump can be blamed or it is already set before a second Biden term. And I think I might have did a report on that before on how Biden is actually cutting Medicare costs. Something that he's trying to say that Trump will do. He's already doing it. He's already done it. But this is all very deliberately planned. As Breitbart and Americans for Limited Government conclude, quote, we are in a horrifying time of human history where all the inventions that Americans have created over the last 200 years will help the Chinese government achieve its 2,000-year-old dream of global domination. So again, he's actually helping the Chinese government and hamstringing again the American people. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.